And this is 68 Chevelle, 68 Chevelle. It's got, you know, the 400 small block, bored out 30 over, so it's a 406. Not a Nova, it's a Chevelle. I remember when these 68s came out, I was like, wow, they got a lot bigger, because the 66s, 67s, and 64s, 65s are smaller. They kind of grew, cars got a little bit bigger as time went by. And I remember going to, I was like 13 years old, so, you know, when I saw these coming out, and I was like, boy, I want one of those when I get to be 17, I could drive and stuff. Wound up getting a 62 Impala Super Sport convertible, though. That was my first car when I was 17. So that was in 72. That was only a 10-year-old car back then. So this got the B&M shifter on it. Yeah, I got the, you know, I like the wing windows with the roll when you got the cranks on them, because what happens is if you don't have the crank vent window, they have like a resistance thing in here that keeps the window open, and it wears out. And then when you're going, the window closes on you. If you don't fix that somehow, you got a crank on it, a vent window crank. You can keep the window adjusted and it won't close on you. So, and this is 68. You know, the 68 has like the smaller horizontal headlights, its tail lights, I mean, and it does look better in a lot of ways. It's just that they're smaller, they're not as noticeable. So you definitely want to put the LED bulbs in this, and I'm sure that's what he's got. And he actually even has the third eye up there. I just noticed that. Not. You know, that's cool having that third eye, but the way he's got it, it's like, it's not, it doesn't detract from the styling. It's like back there on the, you know, the panel on the deck panel over the rear seat. Dual exhaust, nice stance on it. Let's get around the side. Yeah, a little bit bigger tires in the back than the front. I know a lot of people used to do is, even if they didn't have the money, the first thing they would do is get the wider tires in the back and put the shackles on the leaf springs, even if they didn't have any more money to make more power out of it. That's what they did. That's what they did. But some of the cars back then, you know, they always say that, you know, they look at the horsepower. The horsepower went down a lot in the 70s and the 80s, and started going back up in the late 80s. And now it's the horsepower, these muscle cars, is not as high as anywhere near what the cars are today. But the thing is, these cars are generally lighter, and it was a lot easier to modify them. So a lot of people, it was very common, was to not even do like the headwork, but just do the intake, the camshaft, the headers, and the carburetor, and then the gear ratio. And that car was like way faster than anything from the factory. So sometimes you'll hear like a car's got like, you know, a 14-second quarter mile from the factory. Well, that's because it's got bias plies tires on it, for one. If you had different tires on it, it would definitely drop a second at least. You know, in some of these like 440 cars and 396, 375 horsepower cars and stuff, the time would drop a lot. But most people didn't even have a stock car back then. That's why they really were muscle cars, because, you know, you don't see people today out fixing these cars like, you know, the younger generation doesn't get out there anywhere near the numbers that they used to, doing this stuff, you know, getting dirty and stuff and fixing it with their own hands, making it their own.